Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be doing this video and giving you kind of a life update. Before we start, there are two things I want to say. One, I've spent my entire life working on not having a Louisiana or a Southern accent, and I feel like that has gone out of the window. I've been surrounded by people from Louisiana for the last 3 months, I guess, and then now I'm in Texas, so here's the deal. It's just who I am and I have to accept it. I can't ignore all of the twangs that you hear. It's a thing. Secondly, I had no clue. Like, I thought Florida was bad because it stays in pollination season like all year long. And so I really struggled with allergies there. But Texas, oh my gosh, you guys, I've been waking up with like nosebleeds and like all kinds of stuff and not being able to breathe and like sounding awful. So struggling, but we're making it through. So I'm excited to do this video to kind of give you some life updates. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram because I asked you guys what questions you had kind of about this new season I'm in, and I can't wait to answer those. But before we start, I kind of want to address something. So I feel like I can't go any further until I address kind of the past season that I was in. I get so many questions about it, so many DMs about it, and I kind of will start here and kind of just answer that. For the last several years, I was on staff at a church, and most of that was really good, you know, getting to see life change and getting to make new friendships and meet new people and celebrate all of the things that God was doing in his church. And it was so good and so fun. But it got to a point for me where I realized it wasn't working anymore. I just was exhausted all of the time. I started noticing like some things in me that I didn't really love. And I would try to do things like go on vacation. Like literally I went on vacation. If not every month, I would say every like 6 weeks. I would try to go somewhere just to kind of regroup, refresh, and try to come back and, you know, feel strong to be able to complete the job that I was doing. And we ran at a really fast pace, and you know, if you can do that, that's awesome. It wasn't sustainable for me for that many years and to move forward with it. So it was kind of just a change that I needed to make. I celebrate that season. I celebrate all of the people that I met, all of the relationships that I have from that, all of the life change that I got to see. Sometimes you have to recognize when a season is no longer serving you and when you're not serving that season well anymore. And I felt like for me, it was just a decision that I needed to make to move forward and to kind of do something different with my life. And so that's what I've done. I read this quote that I want to read to you. In that season, I kept saying I'm so exhausted, and that was kind of like a key point for me because I remember it was like during quarantine or during COVID last year, and we were kind of going at like the slowest pace that we've ever gone in my whole time on staff, and I still could not get it together. I couldn't function. I was like exhausted all the time. And yes, we worked long hours and we worked a lot, but we used to be able to like bounce back and be ready, and like it was not working. But I read this the other day. Someone sent it to me. It says, burnout isn't caused by exhaustion. It's caused by continuing to walk down a path that's no longer yours. I'm like, yes, exactly that. And so I really took some time. I prayed about it. I went actually to the mountains and just kind of turned everything off and really just prayed about it. And I felt like God released me to go. And I'm so thankful because the season that I'm in right now, guys, the season that I am in right now, I could not have dreamt up this season. It is probably the best of my whole life. You know, there are certain times in life where you can look and say, this is a distinct moment in time where this is going to shape the rest of my life. This is that season. I am really in a place where I'm learning what makes me happy. I'm learning what true joy feels like. I'm learning what I value, and I value freedom of time. I value God's kingdom and ministry, but I also value family, and I value friends, and I value having free time at the end of the day to do whatever I want. I didn't know, like right now I'm in Austin, Texas, and I'm 5 hours away from home. That can be done in like, I could do that right now, you know? And I didn't realize how much family and friend time I was missing and how much it actually did fill me, because for the last 8 or 9 years, I haven't lived at home. I haven't lived with near family or been around family. I've been in different states whether that was for school or for work or whatever it was. And so I am enjoying this season of life. Couldn't get any better. So all of that to say, that was the past. I'm so thankful for it, and I'm so thankful that it's led me to this time to really rediscover who I am and what I want out of life. Some of you guys asked specific questions, and I'm super excited to answer those. Someone said, rate Austin. How does it compare to Florida? Okay, this is no dig on Florida. Actually, it totally is. It has nothing to do with the job or the people. Just Florida, the place. I hated it. I hated every second of it. I hated it. I didn't want it, and I tried so hard to like it, and I hated it. Some people are so confused by that. Like, even when I'm here in Austin and they're like, where'd you move from? I'm like, Florida. They're like, Florida to here? I'm like, yes, I hated it. This is what I did not like about Florida. I did not like that every single day of the year, no matter if it's in the dead of winter, it's going to be at least 82 degrees. I like change. I like it to be, I don't mind the summer as long as I also get winter, spring, fall. It just didn't happen. I couldn't. The humidity, like, no, it just was not me. So Austin compared to Florida, a trillion times better. Someone said, what inspired your new business venture? I love this question. If you don't know, I launched a luxury picnic business here in Austin, and it's going great. I don't really know. I've just been praying and asking God, like, God, give me business ideas, give me all life ideas, give me whatever you would have, and I promise you I'll attack it. And it came to me one day, I prayed about it, and then the next day I was like, let's do this. Someone said, have you found a new church? Yes. This goes into the next question, which said, have you made friends? Yes. Okay, listen. I knew that coming out of working on a church staff, if I did not get into church immediately, it would probably be a struggle for me to get into church. So as soon as I got to Austin, I started going to a lot of churches. I tried, I think 10 to 12, I can't remember exactly the number. And I watched even more online. And it was hard. It's been a long time since I've had to look for a church. I guess let's talk about what I was looking for in a church. I think the main thing that I was looking for is a church that was preaching the Bible. And I know that seems so simple, but it's wild how many churches are preaching opinions and politics and everything else. And it's like, that's not gonna feed the part of my soul that needs to be fed. And so I was really just looking for biblical truth. So that was one of them. I was looking for diversity. I don't want everyone in the room to look like me, but I do want to be able to identify with someone in the room. And so that was a big part. I was looking for good worship. I was looking for a church that was actually being the church, like hands and feet of Jesus. So in their community, serving their community, not just Sunday. Like, the church is about so much more than just a service. So people who were more committed to serving people than they were to making a church service happen. And I agree that, like, lights and cool screens and cool cameras and stuff like that, super important. I think that's great, but I think sometimes you can miss the heart of God and the purity of worship and the purity of the word when you get caught up in all of that stuff. So I was just looking for something that was pure and pushed me towards holiness, and I have found it, and I love it so much. I love it so much. I did a Easter vlog, which we have church on Saturday nights, so my Easter vlog was a Sunday morning mountain kind of experience that we had. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it. But one day I'll do a, like, come to church with me, introduce you to my friends and that sort of thing. But I am loving it, and I'm excited to help build it. Someone said, are you dating? No, which is always the answer every time you guys ask me. Someone said, have you lost weight? I have lost around 17 pounds and still working. I was so unhealthy in my last season, and again, that's like totally on me. I totally lost control of myself and the things that I liked, and exercising and eating well and that sort of thing. And I think it was a combination of being busy and not being disciplined. When those coincide, all bets are off. So I have really changed the way I'm eating, and then I've really gotten into Orange Theory. I'm a Cult Fitness girl. Like, I love Orange Theory. You'll have to pry my membership out of my dead hands. That was intense, but I really do love it. Someone said, do you think you'll ever move to Seattle? I don't know. I really love Seattle and I really would love to live there, but I'm not sure. I'm starting to accept that maybe I won't. Sad. Someone said, do you still talk to people from Faith Church? Yeah, I totally do. I think it's hard to keep up with everybody, especially when you were in like a pastoral position. You like had contact with a lot of people. So it's been hard when you meet people in one spot. A lot of times all that you have in common is that thing, and so when you no longer have that thing in common, it can make relationships difficult, a little bit more difficult to navigate. But I still talk to people there, of course. Love people there. Okay, someone said, are you going to go back into ministry? Yes. I think that I would love to say no, but I've always known, like my entire life, that ministry was going to be a part of that. I don't know in what capacity or where or when or how, all of those questions. I don't know that answer, but I do know I have a heart for people. I have a heart for God's kingdom. I have a heart for building God's church. And I think that I'm gifted in that. And so I think, yes, in some capacity, I will probably be in full-time ministry, but I also have learned the boundary of having other outlets. Sometimes I think back to that season and I'm like, man, if I had just had a more healthy, I don't want to say balance, but a more healthy rhythm with it in different seasons, then, you know, that season could have maybe been extended a little bit. But I have learned now that with whatever I do, I need to make sure that I'm feeding and really taking care of the parts of me that need to be expressed. So, you know, when I was in full-time ministry, there were a lot of passions that I had that got put to the side. And so I have learned now that I need to figure out how to incorporate those things that really feed my inner person, that really make me happy. I need to figure out how to incorporate those into my daily life. So yes to full-time ministry. Don't know what capacity, don't know how, but yes. Okay, someone said favorite book of 2021. One second. This is the book that I've loved the most. It's called The Choice, Embrace the Possible. My chair, oh my God. This is Holly Furtick's book club pick for April. So really enjoying and have enjoyed this book. You should get it. Okay, someone said your true thoughts on Austin. You guys ready for this? This is a big deal. What I'm about to say is a big deal. Are you ready? Seattle, Austin. What? Yes. So in my Seattle vlog, which I'll link also, I talk about why I love Seattle. So I'm gonna sum up to you why Seattle is my favorite place in one clip. You ready for it? City, water, mountains, all together. And I say in the video, I love Seattle because it has mountains, it has city, and it has water. Austin has all of those things. It has mountains that you can hike to. It has a city that's progressive and gets all the things first, and it has water. Like, I've been kayaking, paddleboarding. I'm obsessed with it. The only thing that that's not the same, or like that kind of whatever, is the weather. But like I said, I can deal with it because it does get cold. You do have fall, you do have spring, and summer's only a few months, so I can deal with it. But I really love Austin, and I did not know that I would. It's kind of like the curveball. Pretty sure this is home. So that's pretty much all of the questions that I'm gonna answer, but I just wanted to tell you guys, like, if something's not working, really pray about it and then make the decision to change it. I really believe, like, don't be a person that like hops, changes because things aren't working, whatever, but really pray about it and really discover if it's environment or if it's you or if it's a combination of those things, I have noticed that once I removed myself from the environment, there were some habits and some negative attitudes and some other things that I really had to excise out of my life. Is that a word? That I really had to like cut out of my life. But once the environment was gone and once I like really began to work on myself, I've become the happiest I have ever been. I promise you, I did not even know that I could be this happy. Truly had no clue that I could be happy. And that is wild to think of. And that has, of course, a lot to do with me and my perspective and kind of where I was, the attitudes that I was in. But man, am I so glad that I made a change, because I just have never had so much joy and just like wake up looking forward to the day and wake up wondering what friends I'm gonna hang out with and what business ideas I'm gonna get and how my book's coming along. And just, I'm so thankful. There are times where you really like acknowledge that you're in the middle of an answered prayer, and I am in the dead center of an answered prayer, and to know that God's not done yet, that he has even more, mind blown. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It is my goal to get monetized on this channel by the end of the year. So please subscribe and like this video. Leave me a comment. If I didn't answer your question, just leave a comment. I'll answer it, and I will see you guys next time.